Okay, I thought I'd do a quick update on the uh, situation with the guy who drove through my yard and broke my window, tried to break into my house.
Okay, so the dogs actually woke me up. I went for the tablet first, thinking that I was going to look at the cameras. There's a bunch of cameras on the property, and at that point, I heard the breaking glass. So I dropped the tablet at that point and grabbed the pistol, and told the dogs to stay, and then closed this gate so they would be stuck up there and they wouldn't be able to follow me. And then about when I got here is when I heard someone say they're coming in. So I didn't know how many people I was dealing with at this point. Didn't realize it was just one person, and he was just crazy and thinking that there were other people around that were just imaginary. But at this point, he says they're coming in. So at this point, I'm coming out into the hallway thinking people are just about to come into my house. And I come out here about to this point, and I notice the guy, and I'm standing about here. You can see the window, and I see the broken window, and of course, it doesn't have the rubber over it like it has now. So I'm seeing right through, and I'm seeing the guy standing there right in the window, like just about ready to come through the window. So I come over and I jump up into the bed, and I'm standing right about here, and right face to the guy, pointing my gun at him. So I ordered him away from the window and all of the stuff that I covered in the other video. But what I didn't cover in the other video, a little bit of that beginning detail, plus after I called 911, I had the guy. He was originally sitting at the picnic table when I ordered him to sit down. And then I came around to the door because I was originally confronted him at the window. He then moved over to the chair, asked if he could sit in the plastic chair, which I said he could sit in the chair. He sat in the chair. He had no shoes on. I gave him a blanket. He didn't want me to go in the house because he was afraid that the werewolves were going to get him. So just continuing to be completely nuts. But what I didn't talk about in the other video was that he asked me for alcohol, and when I didn't have it, he went back to his car, and he said he had alcohol in his car, and he went back to his car, which was uh, way off into the sage, and we can see these are his tire tracks here, and I didn't know this last night when I did the video. But yeah, he went right here, right off the back of the parking lot here, and over you can see where that little Subaru he had went right over the railroad tie and off into the sagebrush down there, and that's where it came to rest. So he went back to his car and drove off through the sagebrush again, just out into the sage, into my neighbor's yard, and then onto her driveway, and then back out to the road, and then drove into the neighborhood, and then came back, and then drove into my other neighbor's yard on the other side, who is an elderly person. I was on the phone with her at the time, and told her to stay in the house, and I headed over there. As soon as I saw him over there, I headed that way, told her I was headed that way, and told her to stay in the house and not to open the door. And then I called the 911 dispatch again to update them that he had then turned around and left her yard and went out onto the road and just sat there with his car running and his lights on, and was there until the state troopers arrived. So they then took him away, and presumably, I haven't been down there, but presumably the car has also been towed away by now, because they said that was going to happen. So that's what I didn't cover in the other video. And it turns out that 2 o'clock in the morning, a couple hours after getting face to face with somebody trying to break into my house, isn't when I'm at my most coherent. So there's a little bit more detail. And this obviously repair was pretty quick and makeshift. It's not great. It's good enough for last night, but even so, still 70 degrees in the house this morning when I got up, because this is an Earthship, and it's warm in the wintertime, and I don't need to have supplemental heat. You can see here, oh, glass is still falling every time I walk through the door. So gonna have to replace that. That's like a 4 foot by 4 foot square. So that'll be costly. Maybe I can get the guy to pay for it. Who knows? So TV's no loss. If it's damaged, it probably still works anyway. So that's the rest of the story.